Good afternoon and welcome to the Wakeup Retirement Show. I'm your host, Marc Sarner, here with you every Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock, talking to you about everything that's going on currently in today's economy that could either affect your investments both positively and negatively, so that you can be armed with the information necessary to improve your situation. Talking to you about retirement, income versus being efficient with your taxes, talking to you about longevity, inflation, handling all of the issues that come out on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, so that you can handle whatever comes your way. You'll be armed with information. You took the first step, and the first step is to actually listen to shows like this so that you can become a better, more informed consumer. Studies have shown that those that actually listen to these types of events or go to financial educational workshops have a higher chance of a higher quality retirement. And I want to thank you for listening today and spending some of your weekend with us this afternoon. I also want to thank our sponsor, Kilter Termite and Pest Control, the termite and pest control leader in the North San Diego area. Been around for over 20 years. You can get a hold of them at 858-371-2928. That is Kilter Termite and Pest Control. So, talking to you about retirement. We have a great show planned for you today. Talking to you about retirement income. Talking to you about strategies, how to generate more income. So, want to talk to you. If you're listening to the show, more than likely you are either retired or getting ready to retire, maybe in your mid to late 40s or mid 50s, planning on retiring at some point. You know, your overall world is different now. It used to be that you used to focus on growth, and notion of retiring someday is right around the corner. So you're looking at solutions to create retirement income. You're no longer looking at, growth stocks the same way that you were 20 years ago. You're looking at what can I do to create income that will sustain my lifestyle. So no longer are you looking at strategies for solely looking at growth. We're looking at how can we maintain a quality of life in retirement. And you're listening to the Wakeup Retirement Show. You can find us on the World Wide Web at wakeupretirement.net. And we have a wealth of information there for you. Our operators are standing by because we have some guides that we're going to be passing out throughout the show. It's only available for the first 5 listeners. We get a lot of calls on a daily basis when I do this show. So you want to be ready to stand by and listen to something that might be interesting to you, and that's income. So talking to you about how do we make sure that we sustain it through planning. That's goal number 1, is to work with a seasoned, experienced advisor. Someone who actually understands how to create income, someone who understands how to design a plan based on your goals, your life expectancy. And so we have a retirement guide that we have available for you. It talks about income. It talks about whatever your situation is. We take a look at income versus expenses, but this guide actually helps. It gives you the ability to help yourself. Because a lot of people that go to workshops or listen to our show, they say, you know what, I just don't want to be sold anything. I just want to be armed with some information that might be able to help me. And you know what, if after reading this guide, if we can help in any way, so be it. But we want to get this out to you so that, because you're a loyal listener of the show, we're only giving it to the first 5 listeners. You want to give a call to our operators. We're standing by. 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. It's a retirement income guide. It allows for you to see what is possible and what can I create as far as income and the sustainability of it. So the idea behind this is the following. There's a real retirement crisis in America today. 10,000 people are turning 65 every single day, and alarming little in retirement accounts. So company pensions are a thing of the past. 401k plans are riddled with fees. We're living longer, so our retirement savings has to last longer. And those record low interest rates that are just punishing conservative investors, because when we tend to retire, we tend to de-risk. And when we de-risk, we're going to more conservative strategies. And if we don't have the necessary interest rates, we're not keeping up with inflation. So the issue is how do I move forward? So what can you do? How do you ensure that you don't become a result of the crisis? The answers are in our analysis that we do. So you have a retirement analysis that will show you strategies on how you can turbocharge your retirement income and help protect your retirement savings from stock market volatility, the rising cost of healthcare, and higher taxes. So there's also some little known strategies to help ensure that you won't run out of money in retirement. Folks, that's really the plan. If you have a plan, you actually are designing something so that you don't run out of money. If you don't work with a seasoned, experienced advisor, chances are you're leaving it up to luck. And I don't know about you, but I'd hate to leave my retirement up to luck. So you're listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I am your host. I'm here every Saturday afternoon, 1 to 1:30, talking to you about all these different areas of concern for a lot of different people. You're not the only one. When I put on these educational workshops, I find that everyone is in a different boat. Everyone's in a different situation. We just had one in Escondido just the other day, and people had a lot of legitimate questions and concerns. I just wish I had more time to give to my workshops. That's why we make ourselves available. We have an office in San Marcos. We have an office in La Jolla, the UTC area. So we have the ability to meet with people just like yourself to help you if that's what you're looking for. And again, you want to call for that guide. It's 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. And I want to thank again our sponsor, Kilter Termite and Pest Control. If you have a pest problem or you're not sure if you have a termite problem, you want to give them a phone call at 858-371-2928. That's 858-371-2928. That's Kilter Termite and Pest Control, the termite and pest control leader in the North San Diego area. You want to give them a call and see if there's any problems in your home. It's better to find out early than late, that's for sure. So in the next segment of our show, we're going to talk to you about other things to be concerned about. Some of the 5 items that you need to worry about when we talk about retirement. We want to make sure that we avoid pitfalls. We want to make sure that we avoid mistakes, because if we make a mistake at this stage of the game, does the advisor pay the price? Does the institution pay the price? No, you actually pay the price. And, a lot of people, when they get into retirement, the time horizon is now, retirement income is now, and you don't want to make any mistakes. What do I do about the rising care of health insurance? What do healthcare costs? What do I do about longevity and need? How do I be more tax efficient? How do I position myself for my spouse to be in a better position, not just now, but into the future? So we're going to talk to you in the second segment about these different pitfalls that people have made mistakes. What I find is that there's information that's available for people, and being armed with this information that's readily available in today's society. It's important that you know it rather than just pass the buck and just say, well, I'll deal with that when I get to it. So, and you're listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I'm on every Saturday at 1 to 1:30. Talking to you. You can find us at the World Wide Web at wakeupretirement.net. You can call and receive a retirement income guide at our operators are standing by. We've got a couple more of these guides available. Just 2 more is what I'm told. So 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh my coffee. I'm going to take a little break. We'll be right back after these words. And we're back. Welcome to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I'm your host every Saturday afternoon talking to you about everything to do with your retirement. You know, you work so hard for everything you have today, and you just want to know what is the best possible situation that you can put yourself in, not only for yourself, but for your wife and for your family, so that you can do the things that you want to do during your lifetime. Whether it's golf more, travel more, spend more time with the grandchildren, or do whatever project you're thinking of. You know, my wife is always coming up with brand new projects. Maybe you have some projects that you wish you had more time to do. Now that you're getting close to retirement or already retired, you want to know what is the best situation moving forward for yourself so that you can do what you want to do. And there are 5 very real threats that could jeopardize your retirement. So you really need to take a look at defensive strategies to really safeguard your life savings that you've accumulated. So really the second half of our show is talking about these threats, and these 5 threats are the following. So you want to look at rising healthcare costs. Folks, inflation is not very much a factor today. It's about 2.5%. But in healthcare costs, this is an area where inflation in healthcare costs are on the rise. Longevity is a concern. People are living longer than ever before. So we talked in the past on this show about how, with a healthy couple that is 65 years old, one of them is going to live past the age of 90. And if we're designing portfolios to run out of money at the age of 90, we're planning to fail 63% of the time. So you want to actually take a look at longevity and how can I make sure that my income is sustainable. What about taxes? How can I be more tax efficient? Is that even possible? You know what I find is a lot of different people, what they like to do in this industry, they like to sell products. They like to sell their services. Let's move the money. Let's transfer it. Let's get it working for you. Folks, very few people actually take a look at the tax consequences of the decisions that they make. And that is one thing that we are very good at doing, is we actually provide a mock tax return. I find that people that are in this industry versus people that do taxes, they don't spend time communicating with one another, and that causes a problem with the plan because there could be issues that are going on that the advisor is not aware of that could adversely affect the plan that they are designing. So you want to make sure that you're working with a seasoned advisor. Also, the stock market risk. You want to watch out for volatility. Volatility is good for my 19-year-old son who's going off to college for his second year of college, but it may not be so good for someone like yourself who might be 2 years away from retirement. So while on one end, my son wants the actual markets to go down so he can buy more shares as he puts money away, you, on the other hand, want to make sure that it either goes up or stays the same, but you certainly don't want extreme volatility this close to retirement. And also inflation, so cost of living on the rise. People are living longer than ever before. So, and here are some potential strategies to protect yourself and generate income. So one thing you could do is make sure that you take a look at Social Security. When is the best time to take Social Security? Sure, you could take it at 62, but does it make sense for you to take it at 66? Are there better benefits? Should I actually take a look at getting a Social Security analysis done before I elect to make a decision? So, for the first 5 callers, you're going to do a Social Security analysis free of charge for your benefit. It's really designed to help you. Sure, if there's anything we could do to help you along the way, we certainly are here. Our firm is here. We're able to do it. But we normally don't offer this, but today we did. So Social Security analysis, you want to give us a call, 855 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. And you are listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I am your host, Marc Sarner. I want to thank our sponsor, Kilter Termite and Pest Control, the termite and pest control leader of the North San Diego area. And they're there to help you with any of your termite or pest control needs. You can give them a call at 858-371-2928. That's 858-371-2928. And back to the show we go, talking to you about safeguarding your retirement and making sure that you have yourself in the best possible situation. So there are a lot of people out there that are offering annuities to provide income. So did you know that there's actually companies that provide better payout rates than others? So you want to take a look at securing an income strategy which will provide and there's such a thing as a guaranteed lifetime withdrawal benefit. And this approach effectively locks in some of your future retirement income today and protects it from a market crash or a market correction. We've had a good 8 or 7, 8 years without a major correction in the market. You want to make sure that you are not exposed to significant volatility. I find that a lot of people have their portfolio balanced, but they are invested in the same type of funds. So you want to make sure that you're in a good spot moving forward into retirement, so close to retirement or already retired. You just don't want to get washed out when this tidal wave comes in. So you are listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show, talking to you about designing a plan to protect your nest egg. You've worked so hard for everything you've accumulated. You just want to make sure it's in the best possible situation. So you want to understand these 5 threats and how to provide a solution to these 5 threats. And so that is the extent of those particular threats. Why do we talk about these particular issues? 7 out of 10 women will face some level of poverty through their lifetime. These are women that were not poor before. So the reason being is because when we lose a loved one, we don't get both Social Security checks. You get the larger of the two, but because your spouse is filing single, it would cause a problem because now you are paying taxes on Social Security. You're actually in a position where you could be running out of money and having a hard time sustaining with the increase in cost of living. So, and you are listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I'm your host, Marc Sarner. Every 1 o'clock is the time that we start our show. You want to watch out for these annuities that are out there. There's cap rates that are out there where the rates are caps. So if the markets make 10, you'll get 3. The markets make 12, you'll get 3. That's for the institution's benefit, not necessarily yours. So you want to look out for that. You also want to take a look at Roth IRA conversion. So if you have an IRA, you want to take a look at rolling your IRA to a Roth so that you can achieve tax-free accumulation. So that you can actually take a look when you do retire, you have tax-deferred money and you have tax-free money. Pay tax on the seed and not the crop. That is the idea. And you want to look out for these long-term care salespeople that are trying to sell you long-term care insurance. I like the idea of having some level of protection. I don't like the idea of paying for something that you may or may not use. There are strategies that enable you to get your money back if you don't go into some sort of facility. Besides that, these particular companies are having a hard time making a living. So it's very difficult for them to sustain their life as far as being a long-term care institution because the actuary people got it wrong. People are living longer. The math isn't working for them. So ultimately, who pays the price? The policyholder, because they actually they tack on the cost to the policy. And if you cancel the policy, you don't get your money back either. You also want to take a look at avoiding probate. If you don't have a living trust, it might be wise for you to seek out legal counsel to get a living trust drawn up to protect you and your family and your loved ones and from the probate courts. And getting those powers of attorney drawn and keeping them current, making sure that information is correct. But not only that, making sure that your wishes are carried out so that they know how to transact or how to feel about how you'd want to be treated. If you're not able to function like you are today, there is a document that is created by the University of Minnesota that will talk about how to make sure that your wishes are carried out. It's one thing to give somebody a power of attorney for healthcare. It's another to actually give them a guide saying, you know what, it's okay. Just because a hospital has $1 million machine doesn't mean you want to be hooked up to it for the rest of your life. So there are certain things that you should take a look at to make sure that your wishes are carried out without any guilt. Because ultimately, if you don't have the necessary forms filled out, can there be guilt? Would mom would have wanted this? Would dad would have wanted that? So there's certain feelings for providing a goal of how you'd want to be treated and give you peace of mind in knowing that when it comes to carrying out your wishes, you know that you've elected the right people, but how would you like to be treated? We have multiple workshops coming up here over the next month. You want to give us a call, toll-free 855-920-7233. That's 855-920-7233. You're listening to the Wake Up Retirement Show. I'm your host every Saturday at 1 o'clock. I want to thank our sponsor, Kilter Termite and Pest Control, the termite and pest control leader in the North San Diego area. I got to tell you, I had a friend of mine received an estimate. He didn't think that he had a termite problem, and wouldn't you know it, he did not have a termite problem, and they did not try to sell him any other services or products. They shook hands, parted ways, and I would stand behind that company because I had a positive experience with them. You want to get your issues taken care of, pest and termite problem, give them a call. That's 858-371-2928. That's 858-371-2928. And we will talk to you next week. We have a great show planned for you. Thanks for listening. And go out there and make this weekend the best weekend of all.